Zara had everything: money, influence, recognition. But on the night she stood alone in her glass-walled penthouse, staring down at the restless city, she realized success had quietly taken something from her that she could never buy back. Years earlier, she had arrived in that same city with nothing but a suitcase, raw talent, and an unshakable hunger to be seen. The streets were loud, fast, and unforgiving, but Zara thrived in the chaos, working sleepless nights in her tiny apartment, building dreams bigger than the space she lived in. Every rejection fueled her, every failure sharpened her resolve, and every morning she asked herself how far she was willing to go to make it. When opportunity finally came in the form of a prestigious fashion agency, it felt like destiny calling her name. But what she didn't realize was that success often demands a price that isn't listed in any contract. As Zara stepped into a world of luxury, high expectations, and silent competition, she quickly learned that talent could open doors, but ambition decided how long they stayed open. She pushed harder than everyone else, stayed later, worked smarter, and slowly began to rise, earning recognition, promotions, and admiration. But with every step forward, something subtle began to shift. She started choosing deadlines over dinners, deals over friendships, and power over peace. Calls from loved ones went unanswered, moments of joy became rare, and relationships that once grounded her quietly faded into distance. The city applauded her success, but behind the applause was a growing silence that echoed through her life. She told herself it was temporary, that sacrifice was necessary, that one day it would all make sense, but ambition, once it crosses a certain line, stops asking for permission. Zara became sharper, more calculated, and eventually more ruthless. She began to see people not as companions, but as competition, obstacles, or stepping stones. The line between right and wrong blurred, and the version of herself she once admired became someone she barely recognized. The turning point came the day she sabotaged someone who had once believed in her, a decision that secured her position but fractured something deep within her. Success became louder, more visible, more glamorous, but happiness grew quieter, slipping further out of reach with every victory. She attended elite parties surrounded by powerful people, yet felt completely alone, disconnected, and strangely empty. One night, standing in the middle of a celebration thrown in her honor, she realized she didn't have a single person she could truly share that moment with. Still, she kept going, convincing herself that reaching the top would somehow fix everything. Then came the biggest deal of her career, the opportunity that would define her legacy. She poured everything into it, ignored every warning sign, and pushed forward with relentless intensity. But when the deal collapsed overnight, it didn't just fail, it exposed everything. The shortcuts, the compromises, the fragile foundation her success was built on all came crashing down at once. Headlines turned against her, her reputation unraveled, and the same world that once celebrated her quickly moved on. In a single moment, Zara lost the power, the influence, and the illusion of control she had spent years building. And just like that, she found herself back where she started, alone. But this time, surrounded not by dreams, but by the weight of her choices. Sitting in the quiet of her old apartment, she finally had something she had avoided for years: time to reflect. She thought about the people she had lost, the moments she had missed, and the person she had become along the way. For the first time, she asked herself a question she had been too busy to face. Was it ever worth it? In that silence, she realized that success without balance isn't success at all. It's a slow, quiet destruction disguised as achievement. Zara didn't just lose everything. She gained something far more valuable: clarity. She understood that ambition is powerful, but when it turns into obsession, it begins to consume everything in its path, including the very person chasing it. As the sun rose over the city once again, she stepped outside not as the woman who had conquered it, but as someone finally ready to live within it, differently. And her story leaves behind a question for anyone still chasing their dreams. What are you truly willing to lose in order to succeed?